Let me start by saying that no smoke, no cloak, the truth must be spoke. No spin, no shield, let every fact be revealed. And if nothing is hidden and there is nothing to hide, then let nothing be forbidden. Because, friends, silence can protect power. It cannot protect public trust. Public trust and silence are antithetical. As I said, what I am saying now is much more than a mere political statement, because it impinges on the insult of faith, because it impinges on a betrayal of genuine belief. And with these two, the third terrible angle to this terrible triangle is that there is eloquent silence, piercing, shrill silence in the corridors of accountability, the very same corridors who had proclaimed from the rooftops that they are here to protect this faith. That is the tragedy of this episode. We know only less than the tip of the iceberg. Do not think that we know anywhere near a fraction of the iceberg. Only between 27th April and 5th of June, 40 days, you have had 70 separate instances of theft located in a very short preliminary report, which I said is the tip of the iceberg. 8 people of the lowest level have been arrested. This is not a stray lapse. It is not an inadvertent error. This is a systematic, coordinated loot. And that is the mildest word I can think. It is systematic, coordinated loot in front of CCTV cameras with people who are responsible, who kept their eyes shut while open. There is a phrase in English called Nelsonian blind eye. Nelson was an admiral who stood and started looking this way because he didn't want to see here. So he kept looking here. That is known as Nelsonian blind eye. That is what has happened here. But friends, the real question is not who did the stealing. The real question is who allowed the stealing to happen under their noses, under their eyes. Remember, there are MOUs and SOPs between the State Bank of India, the largest bank with all kinds of details, and the trust. If a chaprasi goes for a loan of 10 rupees, you have so many procedures. Here there are procedures written down. Donation boxes are to be opened only in the presence of authorized persons. Biometric is required to enter the room, counting room. One box alone can be counted at one time. Mandatory frisking, exit and entry points. What is the use of all this paperwork if the people who are to operate are themselves complicit? जब रक्षक भक्षक बन जाएंगे, when the guardians become the looters, this is all worthless piece of paper. We have these great names. Mr. Champatra is no ordinary name. Please don't think he is the mere general secretary of the trust. He is the person in charge of the entire acquisition, construction, donation system. Mr. Anil Mishra is a senior person. In fact, Mr. Govind Giri, the treasurer, has said, I made a mistake in trusting the wrong people. And he said the entire supervision of the temple's functioning was with Mr. Champatrai. This is Mr. Govind Giri's statement. There are many more names. The names include Mr. Gopal Rao, Nagar Kote, Mr. Krishna Mohan, and so on. You've heard them. My point is, how many of them are noted in the FIR? Most of the names I have taken are not even in the SIT. And by the way, the SIT has no legal standing. Zero. Normally, when you see a crime, you go and start with an FIR, not an SIT. This case had an SIT for many, many days. FIR came much later, and both the SIT and the FIR does not have the name of any person of any standing. They have the name of a driver, a chaprasi, a attendant, that is known as a cover-up. That is known as too clever by half. Faith, friends, asks for devotion, but democracy asks for disclosure. And both devotion and disclosure have to go together, because both faith and democracy have to go together. Sacred spaces deserve sacred standards. Sacred standards are higher than the normal standard which we practice here. Faith is priceless, but accountability is also indispensable. You cannot brush aside accountability in the name of faith, especially where this betrayal of faith, this insult of Astha. In the press, senior BJP leaders have said, you are wasting your time about Mr. Champat Rai. His direct access is to the High Command. He owes his selection and choice to the High Command. Any amount of shouting will not disturb his perch and position. And don't forget, friends, this is not about mere money. This is about the feeling, the bhavana of a mother who puts 100 rupees, a poor mother, howsoever poor, who puts 100 rupees in the donation box for the well-being, the health, the prosperity of her only child. This is about a laborer who may be earning 50 or 100 rupees a day, who puts the entire money for the day's earning in the faith which he has. This is that betrayal which turns up in somebody's shoe, somebody's bathroom, somebody's car, somebody's bedroom. Friends, there is a subtext and a sub-story going along with this. Apart from this stealing from the donations, there is another form of stealing which is slowly coming to light. The SIT finds on some small preliminary superficial audit that every function has had gigantic amounts of money spent. A function of Pran Pratishtha, one out of many, one function on 22nd January 2024 involved an expenditure of 113 crores. Not on your or my convenience, not on dharamshalas, not on infrastructure, not on construction, but in the organizing of the function. 25th November, they had a flag hoisting ceremony. That alone cost 10.12 crores, sawa das crore. Our most eloquent Prime Minister is suddenly stuck with complete silence every time a major issue like this happens. He has not spoken a word till now. He has not taken a word till now, a name till now. And I can assure you, when Parliament starts in less than 10 days, the same will be the story. Outside Parliament, inside Parliament, then where is democracy? Not once has any senior central government functionary openly acknowledged the size of the problem, the nature of the solution. When the whole trust is in the Katgara, why are these lowly employees alone being named? What about the others? Is this double-engine Sarkar trying to protect two layers, a double layer of accountability, the middle and the senior? Why is the central government speechless with fear? And if there was nothing to hide, why the resignations of senior people? People who are resigning but not finding a name in the FIR, not finding a name even in the SIT. Then why resign? In the end, friends, let me end with the questions the Congress is asking. We can do no more than, through you, touch the conscience of the people. I am equally confident, though I might sound pessimistic, that nothing will this thick-skinned government do in terms of accountability. But the question number one is, of course, asking for the Prime Minister's chuppi and Maun Vrat to be broken. If you do not want to speak in Parliament, at least have a press conference. You are speaking all over the globe. You are speaking every day at every ribbon-cutting ceremony. This is the biggest issue of faith in this country and you are keeping quiet. Is it possible for you to resolve this contradiction? And that too in a democracy. We are not in a a country where there is no democracy, supposedly? Second, what is all this about having an SIT and having an FIR with no names? Where are the arrests? I'm not talking of the arrest of the chaprasi or the driver. I'm talking of arrests of those who are accountable. Not one. Third, have an inquiry much wider which inspires confidence. Don't do khana purti. Don't do fulfillment of a formality. That can only be by a very, very inspiring Supreme Court name which inspires confidence from all quarters. Don't make it political. Don't make it partisan. Restore the trust which every day your state ministers and your central government ministers are giving rhetorical answers in speeches. We have to restore, we have to restore. You will not restore by speeches. You will restore with this kind of independent, impartial personality who looks into it. Change the constitution, that's the fourth point I'm making, of the entire trust. Have eminent, unimpeachable, beyond finger-pointing level citizens. Expand the base. Don't constantly think of your RSS and BJP. Don't think of the rest of civil society as a pariah, as an untouchable that you will never have them in any government institution. And last but not the least, with a purely independent professional organization, and there are many of them in the country, don't do an audit, do a forensic audit. A forensic audit is something very different. When devotion, friends, fills the donation box, accountability must guard every rupee. In the court of public conscience, silence is never an acquittal. So friends, I hope and trust that at least something concrete and good will happen out of this terrible, ignoble and very sad incident. Thank you.